The quiet desk rebellion. When I started my new office job, I promised myself one thing: stay out of drama. No gossip, no arguments, no unnecessary attention. Just do my work, go home, and get paid. For the first 2 weeks, everything went smoothly. My desk was by the window, the coffee machine worked most of the time, and people were tolerable. Then came Daniel. Daniel worked in the cubicle right next to mine. He wasn't loud in the obvious way, no shouting or music, but he had a talent for doing small, irritating things that slowly crawled under your skin. He chewed gum, constantly. Not just chewing, loud, exaggerated popping sounds every few seconds. Pop, pop, pop. At first, I ignored it. People have habits, I told myself. Don't be petty. But then came the pen clicking. Click, 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 click. It wasn't even rhythmic, just random bursts of noise that made it impossible to focus. And then, the worst of all, his habit of borrowing things. Hey, can I use your stapler real quick? Got a spare pen? Mind if I take this sticky notepad? And somehow, real quick turned into permanently. By the end of week 3, half my desk supplies had mysteriously migrated to his. I tried to handle it like an adult. Hey Daniel, I said one afternoon, keeping my voice calm. Could you maybe keep the noise down a bit? I'm having trouble focusing. He looked at me, smiled casually and said, "Oh yeah, sure." Pop, click. Nothing changed. That was the moment something shifted in me. Not anger exactly, just a quiet decision. If he was going to make my workday annoying, I was going to return the favor. But subtly, very subtly. I started small. Daniel had a habit of leaving his computer unlocked whenever he went to grab coffee. One day while he was gone, I walked over and changed his desktop wallpaper. Nothing inappropriate, just mildly inconvenient. A bright neon pink background with giant yellow text. "I love Mondays." When he came back, I watched from the corner of my eye. He sat down, stared at the screen, and frowned. "What the?" He looked around, confused. A couple of coworkers snickered quietly. He shrugged it off and changed it back. Phase 1, complete. The next day, I escalated. Daniel always bragged about his perfect desk setup. Everything had to be aligned just right. Keyboard straight, mouse at a precise angle, monitor perfectly centered. So when he left again, I made tiny adjustments. Not enough to be obvious, just a few degrees off. Keyboard slightly crooked. Mouse moved an inch to the left. Monitor tilted ever so slightly. When he returned, he froze. Something was wrong. You could see it in his face. He adjusted the keyboard, then the mouse, then the monitor. Sat down, paused, adjusted again. I bit the inside of my cheek to keep from laughing. By the end of the week, I had turned it into a routine. Wallpaper changes, desk misalignment. Once, I even switched his mouse sensitivity settings so the cursor moved painfully slow. That one almost broke him. "Why is this thing lagging?" he muttered, shaking the mouse aggressively. "It seems fine to me," I said innocently. But the real masterpiece came later. Daniel loved his coffee. Every morning he'd bring a large cup and place it carefully on the right side of his desk. So one morning I came in early. I swapped his usual sugar packets with salt. Just once, just enough. When he took that first sip, the reaction was immediate. He froze, swallowed slowly, then made a face like he had just questioned every decision in his life. "What is wrong with this coffee?" I looked up. "Bad batch, maybe?" He stared at the cup, suspicious, but he couldn't prove anything. Over time, something interesting happened. The gum popping stopped, the pen clicking became less frequent, and he stopped borrowing my things. It was subtle, but noticeable. It was like he couldn't quite figure out why things kept going wrong for him, but he knew somehow that the universe was pushing back. One afternoon, he leaned over. "Hey," he said quietly, "have you noticed weird stuff happening around here?" I raised an eyebrow. "Weird how?" "I don't know," he said. "My computer, my desk, even my coffee tasted off the other day." I shrugged. "That is strange." He studied me for a second, as if trying to solve a puzzle. Then he leaned back in his chair. "Maybe I've just been distracted lately." "Maybe," I said. After that, everything changed. He became considerate. No more noise, no more taking things. Even a good morning here and there. It was like dealing with a completely different person. A week later, he surprised me. "Hey," he said, placing something on my desk. "I think this is yours." It was my stapler, the same one that had mysteriously disappeared weeks ago. "Thanks," I said, trying to keep a straight face. He nodded. "Also, sorry if I was a bit annoying before." I blinked. That part I hadn't expected. "It's okay," I replied. "We're good." And just like that, the quiet desk war ended. Looking back, I know it was petty. I could have gone to HR or had a serious conversation or handled it in a more mature way. But honestly, there was something oddly satisfying about solving the problem without a single argument. No shouting, no confrontation, just small, calculated inconveniences. And every now and then, when I see Daniel carefully aligning his keyboard, I can't help but smile a little. Some lessons don't need to be loud to be effective. If you like the story, then subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon next to it so that you get regular notifications of my upcoming videos.